Hello and welcome to my channel. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was in court today, but before we tell you about what happened in court, what transpired, let's get to what Sowore said. Sowore is daring Obi, Soludo and Igbo leaders. According to him, it is time to march for Nnamdi Kanu's freedom. We are in a country, a lot of our politicians are afraid of speaking truth to power. But Sowore has broken the silence. Of course, you already know Sowore. He's an activist, he's a journalist, and he has contested for presidency in Nigeria. But he has thrown a heavy challenge on the table. And the challenge is on our leaders in the southeast. Peter Obi, Charles Soludo, Alex Otti, Abaribe, our traditional rulers, our priests, and even the ordinary citizens. Sowore is challenging us, march to Aso Rock and demand the release of detained IPOB leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And do you know what? Sowore's call is shaking the table across Nigeria. Let me read what Sowore said. He said, I challenge every politician or person of good conscience from the southeast who knows what they want. Nnamdi Kanu released to stop the rhetoric. Stop it. Time for action is now. Let's march to Aso Rock. And he added, he said, every governor, senator, member of the House, certainly House of Representatives, and the local house, traditional ruler, priest, Eze, Igbo person, and every Nigerian who believes in Kanu's freedom, come out and do more than talk. Enough of the talking. According to him, he will be the one at the front leading the peaceful march to Aso Rock. This one not be just those tweeting. This is a moral challenge. A wake-up call to all who has been talking about justice without doing something about it. Enough of talking on social media. Remember, Sowore himself is facing arrest and detention for activism. But he's ready to set aside that political differences and unite for the cause of Nnamdi Kanu's freedom. And please note, do you know that like I said earlier, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was in court today. Yes, at the Federal High Court in Abuja. He appeared today. And remember, there was a no-case submission by his legal team. And the judge, Justice James Omotosho, has rejected that. According to the judge, there was still a prima facie case, according to him, meaning the government's accusations are strong enough for Kanu to enter his defense. And remember, that was where we are prior to this, before his health issues came up again. His lawyers told the court that his condition is life-threatening, and they suggested National Hospital for full medical treatment. But what happened? The government disagreed. They are telling us DSS clinic, always DSS clinic is enough. But his health situation is failing. So the court asked the Nigerian Medical Association in the last sitting before today to set up an independent medical panel that would check the true state of Nnamdi Kanu's health. That one, was supposed to happen before October 8th. But as of this week, the NMA panel says it has not yet completed its work. Remember, during the week, we saw in the news, Nnamdi Kanu was telling them, do your report, send the report so that, Now the court has adjourned this time till October 16. Wow, Nigerian justice system. You know what it entails now? Their long game of delays, delay after delay, report after report. Meanwhile, the man remains in DSS custody, suffering, waiting, and hoping. Now, if you have listened to Sowore carefully, according to him, it's not just about Nnamdi Kanu. It's about the hypocrisy of the Nigeria's political class. He's saying, he's talking to our leaders, if you people really care about Nnamdi Kanu's release, you will stop your empty talk. You will take peaceful, lawful action. It's a challenge thrown at our politicians. The IPOBs, the Soludos, the Ottis, the Abaribe, including the Benjamin Carlo, the one that is, showing some kind of political strength, trying to drag Otti. He's telling them, because they're always speaking softly about justice. He's telling them, now it is time to confront the system. That is what he's trying to say. If he, a Yoruba man, can speak and act for justice, why are Igbo leaders afraid to do the same? He's exposing our Southeast leaders who are careful. They are not courageous. Yes, they are not courageous. Nnamdi Kanu's detention has gone beyond the issue of IPOB or Biafra. It has become a national test of justice. Remember how it started this time around? Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped from another country, Kenya. And they're supposed to have finished his trial. For 4 years, he's been tried. That tells you something. Is the trial supposed to take that long? And of course, you know that Nigerian justice system is broken. You talk about the constant adjournment, the medical excuses, the government resistance. They all show that it is no longer about law. It is a political punishment. Yes, some of us may disagree with Nnamdi Kanu, but his right to justice, to health, and fair hearing, you cannot deny. What makes a country civilized is things like that. It's not about the power of the military, but the fairness of its laws. How does these laws apply in defense of the citizen? The elephant in the room, the Southeast political class. Since 2021, anytime you hear a mention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's name, you see our leaders in Southeast, they will rush to the microphone. They say, we are working quietly behind the scene. They say, we are talking to the federal government. That's what you hear them say. They will tell you to remain calm. But my question is, what has their calmness achieved? Nothing. Nothing. Let's tell the truth. Most of these leaders are afraid of losing favor with Abuja. Some are even afraid of losing their seats. They always want peace with Aso Rock. And that is why you see people like Soludo attacking Peter Obi. Whatever they do is to seek peace with Aso Rock. But that shouldn't be more than the justice for their own people. Some of them are afraid of being labeled Biafran sympathizers. They want to always play safe. On the camera, you see them smiling, but ideally, they are avoiding anything that will upset the presidency. You know what? Despite all their attempts to please the presidency, it does not earn them any respect from the presidency, only disappointment from their own people. So, Sowore's challenge has now exposed their weakness. If he, a Yoruba activist, can publicly risk another confrontation with the federal government to demand justice for an Igbo man, then what excuse do our Southeast governors and senators have for staying quiet? Now, what is Sowore asking for? A peaceful march to Aso Rock. This is not something that you will say it is new. It is not a new thing in history. This is how freedom movements have begun. People walking peacefully, holding placards, singing songs of justice. We see people like Martin Luther King while he was fighting against racism in America. Even South Africans when they fought apartheid. And even Ghana, Kenya, and Nigeria, they fought for their independence that way. So what Sowore is simply reminding us is that justice needs visible courage. He's saying, if we want Nnamdi Kanu released, we must move together peacefully and legally. Yes, there's a way to do it legally and peacefully. It is not an easy thing. Yes, the federal government will try to block that as usual. Most of these African governments, they don't want people to protest against them. Yes, security agencies may harass people, but peaceful protest is a constitutional right. It is not a crime. It is not a crime. And whether the march happens or not, the idea alone has already achieved something powerful. It has forced everyone to choose a side. You either stand for justice and human rights, or you hide behind politics and fear, like most of our leaders in Southeast. So what Sowore has said is an embarrassment to the ones who are silent, because sometimes silence is louder than speech. And let's be clear, it is not about tribal sentiment, it is about conscience. Because when a Yoruba man speaks for an Igbo man's freedom, he's showing what true Nigeria should look like. Justice without tribal links. And back to Nnamdi Kanu. Remember what his lawyer said. He is battling serious health problems. These problems are with his heart and ear. Their request is for him to be moved to National Hospital for better treatment. But the government said no. They insist that DSS hospital is good enough. Yet, you're seeing what is happening. Now, what happened? The court asked NMA, Nigerian Medical Association, to investigate. But even that has been delayed. And that is how injustice hides, not always by violence, but by slow delay, by bureaucratic silence. Until the victim fades away quietly, they will tell us, yeah, the government did what they are supposed to do. If the government really has a case, let them finish it in court. If not, let them release the man. But this endless halfway detention is inhuman and unconstitutional. I respect Sowore, sincerely. I respect that guy. He has done what many Southeast leaders are afraid to do. And he has reminded Nigerians that you don't need to be able to stand for justice. You just need to have conscience. Meanwhile, those who are closest to Kanu, those who use his name for sympathy and political relevance, have been too quiet for long. You know, our Southeast region has become too polite for its own good, too cautious, too diplomatic, too afraid to offend Abuja. And that is why injustices continue to thrive, repeating itself. When a people are afraid to speak up, power grows arrogant. And for clarity's sake, please, Sowore is not calling for war. He is calling for peaceful courage. He's saying, if you want justice, don't just whisper. Stand up and work for it. And by the way, that message is not only for the Igbo people. It is for all Nigerians who have lost faith in the system. Nnamdi Kanu has been in DSS custody since June 2021. 4 years and still counting. No final verdict. No access to his doctor, full access. Every time DSS doctors this and that. We don't even know the future of that case. Now, like I said earlier, whether you love him or disagree with him, you must admit that what is happening to him is not fair. And fairness is the foundation of every free society. If the law no longer protects the unpopular, then it protects no one at all. So maybe Sowore is right. Those times we tweet, releasing Nnamdi Kanu, this and that, especially I'm talking to our leaders. Those times are over now. The time we are in now is the time for peaceful action. Yes, if you have conscience, if you are an Igbo leader with dignity, and you still believe in Nigeria, because most of you are, stuck of those who are talking about Nigeria, it is time to stand up and demand that Nnamdi Kanu be freed. We're not talking about violence, no, but with truth, we're talking about courage. Demand Nnamdi Kanu's release. If you believe in peace and justice, share this video. Comment below. Do you think Southeast leaders will ever take this kind of bold step? Let your voice be heard.